last year's annual meeting, I shared with you a problem we might face with our land inventory should an industry come in and want the acreage that we had on Willie Park Parkway. We were fortunate to have Almira Glass come to us in need of 90 to 100 acres. We had such a site. They purchased the site. They're building a building, and we were without a large block of land. Those were things that I told you might happen last year. As I talked to you about last year, I said, in our inventory, we need a building site, but we need a rail site. I am happy today to inform you of the new 333-acre site under contract. The site is located on 257 in the bypass, and your placemat, you can see the map of it. It gives you a little description about what we have under contract. We are very happy. This site has a rail on the back side, which makes the site very, very open for marketing to anyone to any industry, whether it be international, national, wherever. We're glad we have something ready for it. So we're really glad to have it. Phase 1 environmentals are being performed presently, and we should close this within the 90 days. It will be a great day for us. There are many people who made this possible for the authority. The first group of people who made this possible were the citizens of Lawrence County, who overwhelmingly passed a SPLOS for the Development Authority to use as incentives or for land purchases in a way to promote economic development and provide jobs for this community. Thank you to all of the taxpayers who voted for that. The landowners who were willing to sell. There were, I think, 5 or 6 different landowners as the property had been divided up from the Brown family. Thanks to Louis Curry and his firm for addressing this and making himself available to several of the clients and he helped bring this whole project together as one piece, which was one or two pieces of the property wouldn't help us in. We had to have the entire tract. The legal team and elected officials for their support. I don't know what we would have done without you. To Josie, to Dan, and to the county commissioners and the city council for jumping in there and really being in favor of us having this tract of land. The Development Authority is already looking forward to marketing this site, but even more so, the jobs that this site will bring to Lawrence County. Your new chairman, Dr. Fred Williams, has done a really great job as authority, as a treasurer, as a board member, as a community servant, and he's here to support economic needs of Lawrence County. The board will have 5 past presidents to back him up. Brad Lofton is our new president. I know you will see great things from him soon. Currently, Fred I hope he's going to be available at the meeting. He's under a challenge right now with Brad and Dr. Ledbetter. There's a challenge going on between the 3 of them, and I have informed him that if he wins this challenge, I'll buy him a saddle. It can happen, and I can tell you it can happen. And I hope you win. The vice chairman this year is going to be Roger Folsom. The treasurer will be Phil Gay. I think we have an excellent executive committee. Nicole Ward will continue as the existing industry development. And I think we have a great team. As Brad's already said, we can only go forward. We have a great group of people to serve Lawrence County.
Hello, Middle Georgia. Graham Slater for Dublin Ford Lincoln. Going to give you a sneak preview of our plans for our new dealership. We're investing heavily in this community because you've made us number one. And we're going to have a state-of-the-art facility that is just going to blow the competition away. Going to have all the up-to-date electronic equipment, diagnostics, Any tools that the salespeople or the technicians need, we're going to have. It's going to be a beautiful facility on Highway 80 West. As you can see, there is some progress. We've already got the site work done. The curbs are in, getting ready to pave, and of course the old building's coming down. But you come see us here at our old location. We're moving cars as fast as we can, get them out of here and get ready for our move. But come and see the new dealership on Highway 80 West, or come visit us at our current location for a great deal on a new Ford.
Again, we want to thank you and welcome you for coming and attending this fourth annual meeting of the Dublin Lawrence Economic Development Authority. Let me again begin by thanking each of you for this high honor and privilege to serve as an entire board. We thank you for your confidence and trusting us with one of the most awesome responsibilities here in Dublin, and that is job creation. I want to publicly thank and honor all of our elected officials at the state level, at the local levels, and again, as well as our city manager, George Roussel, county manager, Brian Rogers. We also want to thank again Mr. Charlie Gatlin for all of his support throughout the year, as well as Ryan Waldrop from the Georgia Economic Development Department at the state level, and as well as our Commissioner, Chris Carr, for all of their efforts, as well as all of our legal counsel here in Dublin, Georgia. And I believe I'll stop right there with names, because I know that everyone in this room has had a significant role in economic development here in Dublin, Georgia. And so I want everyone to raise your right hand, all hands up, right hand up, pat yourself on the back and say, good job, Seth. We're blessed and extremely fortunate to have with us Brad Lofton as our president of our authority. He came the latter part of 2014, and 2014 was and is still proven to be a very outstanding and exciting year here in the business heart of Georgia. Throughout the year, we've had 25 current and active projects. The potential investment in 2014 for these projects was $1.099 billion. The potential new job creations was 6,177 jobs. From that, we had 4 announcements with a capital investment of $42,500,000 and 227 jobs created. We want to thank each of you for your involvement in helping us in our core business, which is job creation in 2014. Ben Carson, the author of Gifted Hands, said this once: I think one of the keys to leadership is recognizing that everybody has gifts and talents. A good leader will learn how to harness those gifts towards the same goal. Please be assured that this authority recognizes that job creation is a team sport, and we could not have the success and the opportunities that we've had this year without everyone in this room today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Valmira Glass, for located on 40 acres in the industrial park located off of I-16. Thank you for constructing an 80,000 square foot facility to manufacture fiberglass for the North American market right here in the business heart of Georgia, Dublin, Georgia. Thank you, Aweeba, for leasing 30,000 square foot building. Thank you, Aweeba, for including 52 new jobs of tool setters and production workers. Thank you for bringing your German-based die manufacturing technology and engineering right here to Dublin, Georgia. Thank you, SP Fiber Technologies, for your joint venture in a 34 megawatt green power cogeneration facility. Thank you, Avenue Capital and Beasley Green Power, for financing this project. Thank you, High Tech Rations, for your partnership with Sunshine Mills that helped to continue to secure 120 jobs right here in the business heart of Georgia. Thank you, YKK, for your $20 million expansion, for your commitment to be one of the flagship manufacturers in the business heart of Georgia. Thank you, Margay Solar, for your consolidation with a new ownership group. Thank you, Plum Creek, for all that you're doing to prepare the Heart of Georgia mega site and the community for an industry that will literally change this region of the state, this entire state, and ultimately the Southeast United States. Thank you, Commissioner Chris Carr and the Georgia Economic Development Department for touring Dublin, Georgia to learn about Dublin, Georgia, and all that we have to offer for prospective industries. Thank you, Jim Lovett, our Regional Georgia Power Economic Development Manager, for hosting a Georgia Power bus tour with project managers from Georgia Power so that they might gain firsthand insight of the amenities that we have to offer right here in Dublin, Georgia. At this time, we also would like to give a hearty thanks to all of our 52 existing industries that we have here. We appreciate you, and we thank you for allowing our staff to come and sit down across the table from you and talk with you so that we may continue to further support you and make sure that you have good success. Thank you, Erdrich, for allowing us to use your facilities throughout the year to recruit industry. And again, thank all of you in this room today. We have had a tremendous year right here in the business heart of Georgia, and we could not have done it without you. Again, we say thank you and God bless.
Why Blue Frog Plumbing and Drain? Blue Frog knows water, and we can help with your plumbing and drain needs. And here are some of the things that set Blue Frog apart from your average plumber. We arrive on time 24/7, 365 with no overtime charges. Our prices are fair and transparent. We don't charge just to show up. We're considerate of your family and your home. Our service experts are tidy and professional. We have the knowledge to provide the right fix for your plumbing problems. We complete a free plumbing evaluation as part of every service call. Blue Frog Plumbing, CentralGeorgia.com, 278-5615. Give us a call next time life makes a mess. Blue Frog Plumbing and Drain of Central Georgia, where we hop to it.
Hopefully I can take a few minutes of your time and just share some exciting news about a project that we're working on here with the help of many of you in this community. My name is Allison McGrath, and I work for a company called Plum Creek. For those of you who aren't familiar with Plum Creek is a timber company first and foremost. We're the largest private property owner in the United States. We hold just shy of 7 million acres across 19 states. For as large of a company as we are, we have only 1,200 employees, so we're pretty lean internal to our system. From the real estate development side of the house, which is where I work, there are only 6 of us, just to give you an idea. Timber is our number one business. It will always be our number one business. All of our properties in the United States are certified under what's called the Sustainable Forestry Initiative. That's a third-party certification that makes sure that we utilize best management practices when it comes to taking care of the lands that we've been asked to be stewards of. We are also a real estate investment trust. We were the first timber REIT in the United States, and so we're bound by certain rules and regulations associated with that status. We don't only look at our timber holdings, we look at our properties to make sure that we provide value to our shareholders. So while timber is our number one business, we also look at the land beneath the ground. We look at whether we have minerals, we look at whether we have other assets that are located underneath the ground. We also look at wind, we look at energy issues, and we look at real estate development. Under the real estate development side of the house, we look at things like conservation easements, real estate development, and also recreational leases. So in the state of Georgia, I believe that we're the largest private property owner in the state of Georgia right now. We have about 788,000 acres throughout your beautiful state. And you can see on this map, those little dots look very small, but when you add them up, it's a couple of acres that we have here. We have about 114 employees in the state of Georgia. I like to consider myself one of those these days for as much time as I get to spend in your lovely community. And I do want to thank everybody here for being so welcoming to me and my team whenever we've been in your area, and I love the opportunity to come up here and to work on this project with all of you. So I'm here to talk today about the Heart of Georgia mega site. Many of you might be familiar with the property known as the Coleman Tract. And again, on your placemats in front of you, you'll see, in addition to the 333 acres that Dr. Williams talked about, you'll see that some highlights about the Heart of Georgia mega site. One of the opportunities that we have with the land holdings that we've been entrusted is that sometimes the highest and best use of those properties is not necessarily growing trees. Sometimes the highest and best use of that property is an economic development partnership. And I'm happy to say that you have one of those right here in your backyard, and that's the Heart of Georgia mega site. This property is located right off of Interstate 16 at Old River Road, or 199. It's a 2,000-acre property, so it's not a small property. It's got some great opportunities that can be associated with it. One of the things that we look at in terms of economic development properties is what's already existing in the area. This site is blessed to not only have interstate frontage, but it's got a solid roadway network already in the vicinity. It has utilities close by or that can be expanded upon to be able to provide adequate service to the site. It also is adjacent to the Georgia Central Railway, so we have a rail connection immediately in our backyard. Dr. Williams talked about the need of having rail-served properties and how there's pretty much a shortage for those types of properties, let alone coupled with a property of significant acreage for economic development. And we're happy to be able to be working in partnership with this community to bring this site forward to create jobs in the region. The site also has natural gas available to it, and it also has a Georgia power line running right through the middle of it. So when you're talking about an economic development project and you look at the assets that are already existing with this piece of property, it was kind of a no-brainer for us to pursue this and to work with your community to make this a project of state significance. So the Heart of Georgia megasite, transportation is a number one issue when we're talking about large economic development projects. This property is blessed, as I said, to have rail, to have the interstate, to have local roads. And if we go through the next series of slides here, you can see just as we expand out the advantages that this site has just by its strategic location. You can see that we're about 100 miles from the Port of Savannah. So when we start talking about industry and we start talking about importing and exporting, we have easy access down to the Port of Savannah. I already mentioned that we have the interstate that sits right there. It's very rare to have a property of this size that's located with immediate interstate access. When you talk about movement of goods by road, the transports, the semis, do not want to have to travel a long distance off of the interstate in order to get to the site that they need. We are literally at the intersection of I-16 and 199. We also are not that far from the Atlanta airport, so we can start to see that you can move to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south. This shows the roadway network that you guys are blessed to have right here in the state of Georgia. We didn't come up with the name the Heart of Georgia mega site by coincidence. When we started looking at all roads leading to this area, it was an easy decision for us to brand this the Heart of Georgia mega site. If we pan out and we start to look at the rail, you can see that while the Georgia Central Railway is a short line connection, it does connect into two Class 1 rail lines, into both the Norfolk Southern Rail Line and the CSX rail line. And if we start to look at the next few series of slides and we add on to the railway network, you can see how easily we can get goods from the Heart of Georgia mega site all the way out to the eastern United States. So the next one will show you, if we pan out for Norfolk Southern, where we can get goods moved from here very easily. And the next one will show you that same sort of railway network with CSX. So one of the things that we're doing here is really trying to make this a community project. This is 2,000 acres. This is a project, as I said, that can be of state significance. And we realized very quickly at Plum Creek that this project was much bigger than us. We easily could have sat in our offices and come up with a plan for what we envisioned this project to be, submitted it for local permitting and approvals, and gone about our way. That's not the way that we like to do business, and I'm happy that that's the approach that our company takes, because it has been my absolute pleasure to come to your board meetings and to work hand in hand with your team to bring this project forward. So we are right now in the process of collecting some significant due diligence. And it's really been a great experience to pull in the stakeholders of the community. We have had 2 stakeholder meetings already. We open those up to anybody and everybody that would like to participate in those meetings. The purpose of those meetings is to not only provide information to anybody that's interested about what work has been done since the last time that we met, but also to get feedback from the local community, because you know this community better than we do. We've had great participation in those meetings, and we've now subsequently started drilling down into what we call working group meetings. We've developed 4 different working groups that really look at targeted issues: transportation, for example, land use and the environment, education working group, or education and workforce, and utilities. That way, somebody who has no interest in talking about utilities does not have to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours of their time talking about things that really they aren't interested in. But they can come to the stakeholder group meeting and they can get an update on what the utilities folks talked about. That way everybody still gets full information, but we're not wasteful of anybody's time or energy. We've had our first round of each of those 4 working groups. We had great participation, and certainly if you're interested in participating in any of those, we'll have our next round of those in February, and I'm happy to add you to the list. This slide gives you kind of a snapshot as to the level of stakeholders, the different areas that stakeholders came from, both in terms of workforce, education, community involvement. Ms. Willie and the Chamber, Mr. Jackson have been very participatory in those meetings. Anybody that wants to come, we say come on, because it's only going to make a better project for all of us. And when the celebration comes, when an industry locates here, we want all of you to be at that table as well. So I mentioned that we have these 2 different groups of meetings. Again, I'm happy to include you in any or all of them. It's actually kind of fun. We don't allow a conference call because we think that this type of a conversation is much different than everybody sitting in their offices and not really engaging with one another. For me, not being from the area, being able to develop the personal relationships by coming here and spending that kind of time with your community has been a wonderful experience. So in terms of active work, you can see that we are moving forward very quickly with a lot of due diligence on the property. It's a big piece of property. It's 2,000 acres, so things don't happen overnight. But we are actively working on a remarkable amount of due diligence. And what's driving that, if we move forward, Beatrice, what's driving that is a third-party certification that we're going through right now. We have retained a company called McCallum Sweeney out of Greenville, South Carolina. Their primary business is to work with site selectors, so they'll work with industries to try and find them a home to locate. 10% to 20% of what they do in their business is this third-party certification. What that means is they have established an extensive list, and your board can attest to it. They've seen the requirements, an extensive list of due diligence that we have to comply with, that they will then go back and review and make sure that we meet the standards to be certified as an industrial park. There is no national certification program for industrial parks, but McCallum Sweeney has put themselves out in front and is the leading expert in third-party certification. I will give you an example. We just went through this process on a project that we have in Florida. It's a 2-phase process. Phase 1 for that project is an evaluation phase, and it was about 880 pages of information. Phase 2 is a drill down of each of those pages. When we printed Phase 2, it was a good day to be in the timber business because I think I single-handedly drove up company stock. But it's an extensive process. McCallum Sweeney gives us 365 days from when we pass Phase 1 of the certification to submit Phase 2 of the certification. We're about halfway through that process, so our deadline is June 30th of 2015 to provide them with all of the extensive data and due diligence that they need to be able to certify this site as not only a mega site, but also as a super park. The mega site certification, we can probably move to the next one. The mega site certification process comes about because we have a minimum of 800 acres in the heart of the site that is contiguous and could be utilized by a single large end user. Our goal, and I believe it's the goal of your board, is to try and hold that 800 acres back as long as possible so that we can get the big fish. We're excited about that. We think that it's a very unique opportunity. I don't think that there are very many locations in Georgia that have the ability to offer that, and certainly with having 2,000 acres, we do have opportunities to still attract other prospects to the site while trying to hold back that larger one for a big end user. Not to put the pressure on you, Brad, but that one's for you. So we're excited about that opportunity. You can see here that we would be the first certified site by McCallum Sweeney in the state of Georgia. I can't tell you how excited the staff at McCallum Sweeney is over this site. If I ever call to ask about our other site, they answer my question, and then the very next question is, what's going on with the Heart of Georgia mega site? So I want to tell you that this is on their radar. They're anxious for us to get it certified. Not meeting that deadline is not an option. I can commit to you that our team will meet the June 30th deadline. And I'll tell you, this community pulled together to help us meet the 30-day deadline to submit the Phase 1, and we got a clean bill of approval from McCallum Sweeney. They asked for no additional information after Phase 1, so my hat's off to everybody in this community for pulling together and helping us provide the information that we needed to get such a positive letter to move forward into Phase 2 with them. The other thing that we're going to do here is go through the Georgia Ready for Accelerated Development Site Program. We're starting to pull that information together now, and my goal is to submit that information to the state in January. We're excited about that opportunity as well. We think that by layering on these different levels of certification, we're really going to set the Heart of Georgia mega site apart from other like developments in the state of Georgia.
Well, we've been using Bill Lucas Insurance for our health care for at least 30 years. And the thing that I really like about his service and his business is his staff is well informed and they're so responsive. Because you really never need an insurance agent until you really need an insurance agent. And that's when the true test and the value of what you got comes through.
You call Bill's office, you get a voice, not a number to call. That I like.
Dr. J.W. Fanning, who was the founder of Leadership Georgia, always said, honor tradition, but don't be a traditionalist. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something. Fred Williams is going to be a heck of a chairman of our authority, and thank you for what you did for us. But that's certainly not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about a fellow by the name of Charlie Gatlin, who we've heard his name over and over again. And I said, Charlie, where's your green coat? He said he left it in the office today. But he has a green coat. Charlie's been our friend, and I look over here at Louis Livingston looking at you, and he and Louis were red carpet friends. He was economic development with the agency for years. He retired. He went to MEAG, which turned into Electric Cities. And then we called him about 2 years ago and said, Charlie, can you help us? And he said, I think I can. Y'all remember 2 years ago is when our economic development started going like this. We're going like this, but it's going like this. So about a year and a half ago, Charlie said, we need to do a second strategic plan. We did that, and Charlie led us with that. Then, as Fred said, Cal hit the road, and Charlie stepped in as our interim. And then Charlie became also our search committee that found Brad Lofton. So, Charlie, we've got a little something for you and your wife. If you'd come up, we'd like to present you. Charlie Gatlin. Charlie wants to say something.
I don't get to talk very often, so I'll make this quick, right? You know, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you folks. I know all of you know this. Your members of your development authority are just as good as it gets in the state of Georgia. And they are focused on what they need to do, and they are committed to it. And they are all doing a great job, every single one of them, including Dr. Fred, and he's going to continue that tradition. It's just been a great pleasure to work with them, to work with the staff with Nicole and Cal and now Brad, Willie. It's just been my pleasure. It's been so much fun, Jimmy. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.